Hi, and this is Jackie, our church administrator. Most of you know her because she takes the offerings every Sunday morning and pays the bills. And we want to thank you for how you've been giving. You've done real well. The church has been keeping up with its bills and paying the bills and not having to dip much into what we have laid back. And we thank the Lord for that. But Jackie, I wanted to talk to you about leadership. You and I have been talking about that.
Yes. Yeah, and I think, my area is finance, obviously, here at the church. And I talk about giving all the time. You guys are probably tired of me talking about giving. But leadership, it's interesting because when you get it right with leadership and you figure out how to be a good leader, all of those other things like your giving and how you treat others, they all kind of fall in line once you learn, I think, how to be a good leader.
Yeah, I learned a lot when I was in the Navy because we had what was called a chain of command. And, this person could not go and talk to this person. I couldn't go and talk to the captain. Right. I had to talk to my shop supervisor, and the shop supervisor talked to. Now, we could go around them. And I've learned that even in the church, that it ends a whole lot of gossip if the leadership can work with the leaders and trust them, and they can work with their leaders and trust them, and they can work with their leaders till we have everyone in the church working. Right. Matter of fact, everyone becomes a leader. Right. Because the inroads are from those who are on the fringes of the church.
Right. Well, and I think too, in order to effectively work together, you have to be secure in your own abilities. You can't be insecure. You can't want to deflect away from yourself and bring others down. You have to be the strength for everybody. That's how you bring people to Christ. And so to be a leader effectively, I think you have to have that confidence that really you can only get from Christ, knowing and living like you are a child of the King. So,
we live in a fishbowl. And if you don't like it, get out, because that isn't going to change. A lot of ministers I've heard and a lot of leaders, they want people to know what they tell them, that they don't want people to know how they live. We've seen that with our government leadership and so forth, that they tell people one thing and they do another. You can't do that. If you're in leadership in a church, you're a Christian.
Right.
And if you're a Christian, people should be able to see Christ.
Absolutely.
In everything that we do. And, when I came here, I was 35. I looked a little different than I look now at 70. But I'm not afraid to look at like I'm 70.
Yeah.
Well,
and also, being a servant first. That's really true leadership. When you do it through servant leadership, you don't always have to be up front and shouting from the rooftops and be the center of attention. You can be doing small things behind the scenes, and it's being that servant of Christ that is really being a leader and pushing people towards the cross and bringing people together.
Well, I know you were raised this way because I knew your mom and dad. Your dad was one of my best friends, and helping people and helping others. And our life and our mindset has to be on reaching out and helping other people, or we don't have anything. Someone once said that until you give something away, you don't really own it. Mm-hmm. And that's a servant leadership.
Right.
Well, it isn't coming to church. I got taken to task this last week on something I put on Facebook, somebody's Facebook. And they said they feel like when they go to church, they're not getting what they need because intellectually they are above what the minister is talking about. And I just wrote, you go to church to give, you don't go to church to take.
Yeah.
I load myself up before I get to church, and I empty myself out in church. Right. And that isn't just the preacher's job, that's everyone that's sitting out there.
Right.
So if you feel that you're above someone or beyond someone, you're just not emptying right.
Right. Well, and I think in our time that we're currently in, it's, being a servant is being viewed as being weak. But really, being a servant is one of the toughest jobs, it's this being the strongest person you can be, because you have to have, compassion. You have to hold back. It's a lot easier to just react. It's a lot harder to be a servant of Christ and hold your tongue and give out empathy and be that servant leader that you're called to be. So it's not weak at all to be a servant leader. It's actually quite strong.
It's quite strong.
So,
And we all slip up from time to time.
yes.
But we make up. We
Right.
fix that, I know that I'm very opinionated.
I've never had an opinion a day in my life.
I know. But the thing is, we've got to make sure that we understand that people that are growing in the Lord have differences of opinion on what
Yeah.
color they like, difference of opinion on what car they like, difference of opinion on where they want to live, difference of opinion on schools they want their kids in. We can have all those differences of opinion, but if we agree on Christ,
Yeah.
then our life is going to be centered on working for Him and helping others, and people will be reached in
Right.
His name.
Right. And that's what it's all about. So I think, you talk about all these other avenues of being a good Christian, but it starts with being a secure, confident, good servant leader for Christ.
Yeah, and what a leader does, they lift people up. And I've been guilty sometimes of lifting people up that maybe I should have put down because it comes around and bites you. But I said I'd rather be hurt by someone that I thought that loved me that didn't,
Yeah.
than not to love someone who did.
Right. Well, and I think you may have posted this on social media the other day, but it is a God-given gift to always be able to see the best in people.
Yes.
And that is also very hard to do sometimes. So, you have to just allow yourself to be out there and take that chance on people. You have to, otherwise you don't make any connections. You're completely stagnant. We don't grow. We don't get people to Christ. And what's the point?
Well, the thing is, if you're a positive person and you can see the good in people, then you can counsel them.
Yeah.
If you're a negative person and you're preaching negativity and you're putting things down and somebody comes to you, you only want them involved in your agenda because it's
Right.
selfish.
Right.
So the only way that you can actually help people as a leader or in anything is to see the good in them,
Yeah.
see the positive in them, look for the silver lining, behind the cloud. And I think that's easily done. I think God gives you that gift.
Yeah. And last year was the year that He challenged us to find that silver lining in everything that we had going on in our daily lives with the world around us. And I think that as a church, we rose to that occasion and we were able to find the positive in everything. We actually ended up thriving in 2020. And I can tell, I know you can tell, that 2021 is the year that we're not just going to thrive, we're going to explode.
Yes, and we've had, I'm trying to think how many weeks, maybe 16, 17 weeks, where we didn't have church.
Yeah.
And our offerings, we haven't taken much of a hit.
No.
They've been there, they've been solid, and because our people believe in what we're doing, because we believe in what our people are doing.
Right. And again, it all comes back to that servant leadership.
Yep, and that's what we're all about here at Heritage. We want you to come by and visit us sometime, especially online. Share the videos.
Yes.
It really helps reach people if you just hit the little share button and share the videos. Our videos have went up, my goodness, 90%.
Yeah, exponentially over the last year. We have just built this presence online, and it's because of you guys. It's because you're sharing it, you're liking it, you're subscribing to our channel. That gives other people notifications about what's going on. And so that's the future of ministry, and we're here for it.
Yeah, if you want to be a missionary, just hit the share button. You want to give a testimony, just hit the share button. If you want to share Christ, hit the share button. It all works.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jackie.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks for coming, everybody.